Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate each of you for your service to our country. I'm going to try to keep this as simple as possible. So simple an Air Force person could understand what we're talking about when it comes to the Navy. There was a report done in June of last year called the Battle Force BFSAR. Are you familiar with that, Admiral?
Yes.
Okay.
The Battle Force Structure Assessment Report.
There you go. We got one acronym down and many to go, I'm sure. It said we needed 381 manned ships and 150 unmanned platforms for a total of 515. Is that accurate?
Yep, that's accurate. And really, every study since 2016 has said that we need a larger Navy.
We need 515. How many do we have now in terms of ships?
We have 293 ships today,
Okay.
and we are continuing to reduce.
How many
the
will we
work
have
plan.
under this budget in 2030?
In 2030, we will
Have 294 ships.
4 ships, yes.
Okay. We're going to have one more ship than we have today in 2030. We got a long way to go to get to 373. What does it take to build out this 515 platform Navy in terms of spending?
So first of all, on the numbers, it's not only about the numbers, Senator Graham, it's also about the capabilities.
No, wait a
Again,
minute.
we need
No,
to have
no,
a
no, no,
whole-
no. You said numbers. You didn't. The report said 515. It said 381 manned ships and 150 unmanned. Are those numbers right?
Yes, those numbers are correct.
Apart from capability. Don't put out a report that's false. If these numbers are not accurate because we have capability to do it with half of that, I need to know right now.
Senator, the ship.
I'm not talking to you.
Yes, that is our analysis that it was done last year that reported that out in the Battle Force Structure
Okay,
Assessment Review.
so you stick by these numbers, right?
We will continue to do that.
Okay, all right, you're
Analysis was
telling
done
us
on
what
my
you think you need.
predecessors, Yes.
So we got a budget that gets us to 294 in 2030. Now, Mr. Secretary, you support this budget?
I do support this budget. and
Do
it
you
actually gets us
support,
to the
do you support the
381
plan
that we
to
need
get to
by
515 ships?
By 2043, sir.
You support that plan?
I do support the profile, the number one profile that we submitted in the shipbuilding plan.
Okay, so
with
how
this
in the
budget.
hell do we get there? If
Well,
you
we-
support, I'll
Be happy to,
I'll get right to you. I'm
I'd be happy to
talking.
explain how we get there, sir.
Huh?
I'd be happy to explain how we get
Okay, how do we get there, real quick?
We get there by having continued support from the Congress, basically, without
How
having
much
to take
money do you
resolutions.
need?
And the Fiscal Responsibility Act actually has made it difficult this year to be able to invest in
Admiral
more
Gidley
ships.
said,
However, but if
I am talking.
Okay.
Admiral Gidley said last year, you need 5% above inflation to get there according to this plan.
And the Congress passed the Fiscal Responsibility
Yeah,
Act,
well,
which
I'm
prevents us
not
from
saying
getting to
we're not at
5%
fault.
Of the budget.
So
Yeah.
we're 1% above last year's numbers, right?
Correct.
Okay, last year's numbers were 1% above. We're still below inflation.
No, last year's number actually were quite significantly higher than the.
We're
previous budget that
1%
was
over
submitted.
last year's number because of the Fiscal Accountability Act. You don't agree with that?
That's correct.
Okay, well, what's inflation?
Inflation runs at about 3.4% right now.
So we're spending below inflation. Can we agree on that?
That's correct.
Okay, so if it takes 5% over inflation to get to this magic number, this year we're spending below inflation. And when you project it out, the number of ships we'll have in an inventory is, we're not the enemy here, goes to 294. Where does China go by 2030, Admiral? How many ships will China have?
It's projected to have about 430 ships,
Yeah, how many do they have now? 395.
around 370.
Okay, they have 395 now. That's what this chart says. Maybe it's 370. Let's say it's 370. They have 435, we think, by 2030. We're going up one ship, they're going up like a bunch. There is no plan to the public out there. I trust you about the 515. I'm not arguing with you. I think you know what the hell you're talking about. I'm not arguing with you that we should have more money. I'm just saying we're saying one thing and doing another. The responsibility falls on elected officials. But I would like y'all to echo what I'm saying. I'd like y'all to legitimize that my concerns are real. I'm just not making this shit up. That we talk about a Navy to confront threats that are growing, and our budgets do not meet the needs of this country by a factor of a bunch. And it's going to take bipartisan effort to get with the program. What I want the country to know is that we're on course to shrink the Navy as China is increasing the Navy. The budgets we have do not get us anywhere near where the experts say we need. So what you can do for this country, I think, all of you, is just tell us the truth, that we're on track not to meet our goals. Is that true, Admiral?
So we have about 86 ships on contract right now, 55 under construction. There's 57 in this budget. One of the things that we need to do as a nation is invest in our shipbuilding.
How many are we going to retire?
We're retiring 19, 9 at their.
Well, so in 2030, if we're at 294 and today we're 293, we just gained one ship. Is that right?
Yeah, that is correct.
Okay, well, that's my point. By 2030, we have like one more ship than we have today, and we need 380-something of these things, and we're going backward, not forward. So will you work with me, Admiral, Mr. Secretary? I hadn't even talked about the Marines you got off because I didn't even get to you. Will you work with me to come up with a realistic plan that would allow us as elected officials to get to where we need to go? It's up to us to get us there, but I would like a plan, if you would help me, submit that would get us on track to getting to the ships we need, unmanned and manned, 515 by 2043. Will you work with me to do that?
We're continuing to work to invest in the industrial base and.
Well, that's not my question. I'm asking, will you work with me?
Senator, we will
We will
continue.
continue.
The
We'll
answer is
continue to work with you to get.
good,
the right
good,
number.
because we got a long way to go. Thank you.